All right, we are live. Welcome, welcome, one and all. It is I, your host, the Mighty Geek, and with a friend of mine who you all know so well. Say hello to the Shinobi Raccoon.
Howdy.
So, my friend, you said you were working on costume designs.
Yep.
Tell me, man, how much, how hard is it for you to design a costume for one of your characters?
Uh, what I'm going for is as simplistic a design as possible because I'm think I'm kind of thinking in ways of how can I make this thing look cool but look easy to animate.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, right now I'm doing lettering for a cover that I'm going to use for the 24-hour comic challenge.
Yeah, Mindy mentioned something about that
Yeah.
on her stream.
Yeah, I've done it 9 times. It's you can do it either online or if your local comic shop is hosting it, you can do it there. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people have done it online and recorded their successes and failures in trying.
Right. I take it there are some rules you have to observe.
Well, you have to. The maximum number of pages is 24 pages.
Right.
You have to do it on that day, but you can write your script in advance because that's going to take even longer.
Yes.
Because covers are not counted as part of the 24 pages.
Right. So 24 inner pages plus a cover.
Mm, yeah. You think you can do that?
I think so. I guess what I was asking was as far as keeping it at a PG rating or a PG-13 rating.
Oh, no, no, no. It
Not that
doesn't.
I plan on taking it too far.
No, the contents of your story is all up to you.
Alrighty.
Now, if you want to publish that story, once you finish it, you can always refine it for publishing.
Of course.
Mm. So, have you ever thought about taking a challenge like this?
I didn't even know these challenges existed
Well, it was started
until
in
today.
actually it was started in 2009, I think it was by Scott McCloud.
Oh.
He started it to challenge his friends, and somehow, some way, it got very popular, and they've been doing it internationally ever since. This is why I love things like this. It gives you a chance to actually feel what it's like to work under a deadline.
Right.
know.
This would be good, especially if you plan on crowdfunding.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. I know I have one story that I know I could never submit to any mainstream publisher because it puts feminism in a bad light.
Yeah, I got one too.
Well, in the case of mine, these three feminists had died and were denied entry into heaven and hell. So, yeah, you know your ideology is very toxic if you can't get into hell.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is I didn't make the rules.
Exactly. That's true. Neither one of us made the rules. We just enforced them.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. We just enforced the rules. Any complaints you have to be taken up with the bosses.
Yep. That's what I always say at work. Yeah, you're gonna take that up with HR.
Right. But in the case of these stories, it's like, yeah, you have to take it up with one of the bosses. And I don't think the devil is in an arguing mood.
Well, the devil didn't make those rules either.
No. He just contributed to them.
Yeah, he's just paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just paying for it.
Exactly. But he has the right to accept or deny entry to anyone he deems not worthy.
Right.
So,
will anyone else attempt to fill his shoes?
All right, Galvatron.
You know that line was awesome.
I know that line is always awesome, man. It's like Coronation Starscream. It's bad comedy.
Yeah, I was like, he go get it down. He go get it down.
And he got it. Yeah. It's like,
yeah,
he obliterates him and then anybody will attempt to fill his shoes.
I was like, it's like finally, after 2 agonizing seasons, he's finally gone.
Exactly.
Until the 3rd season when they bring him back as a ghost and
yeah. I still say that.
But it was only around 2 episodes.
The resurrection of Optimus Prime was done poorly.
That's what I would say. First of all, it retcons one of the most glorious 30 minutes in my entire childhood.
Exactly.
Secondly, it was made for one of the worst reasons I could possibly imagine.
I know.
It's like, you're never going to get that toy, right?
Right.
That toy's done. That's why they killed him in the first place.
Exactly.
I mean, until they brought him back as a Power Master, but it's not the same toy.
Yeah. It's not the same toy. It's never the same toy when they do stuff like that. It's like when they turned I forget what's his name into a headmaster, which made it when they came out with the headmaster line. Then instead of one toy, they turned one toy into 2 toys.
Oh yeah.
And if you lost the head, you were screwed.
Yeah. I do like what Japan did with that concept. Had like the head be the main robot while the body serves another function instead of that stupid idea of instead
Right.
of instead of finding even dumber reason to put human beings in danger.
Right.
It's like, I'm sorry, but the way that I'm sorry, the way that heads transforms at the time, the humans would have been
Inside
turned
Out.
inside
Yeah. That was the thing I didn't get. Unless when the head transformed the humans in a seated position, there is no way to transform like that. The
out. Right.
human body doesn't bend. A
No.
humanoid body does not bend that way. We all know this.
Yeah. And the target masters made even less sense.
I know. Dude, why would your sidearm? You have a sidearm with a mind of its own. Why would you do that?
It's like, oh, I no longer need to aim this thing. My gun aims itself.
Exactly. I think the coolest concept to ever come out with a Micromasters.
Which never made it to TV.
I know. I know. I mean, they were like the James Bond of Transformers. I mean, they did a better job than Laserbeak and the rest of the cassettes.
Yeah. From secret staging grounds of two of Cybertron's moons. They're
Yeah,
so secret that Laserbeak can just fly up from Cybertron and
yeah.
and sneak into the base, perch up in a nice convenient spot to listen in on any
Every,
conversation
listen,
Optimus Prime had, and return to the
every,
base.
he's recorded any and every conversation. You're not that secret. Your base is not that secret. And then you can cut to seeing where the Decepticons are disrupting the Autobot moon base.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite episodes from the Transformers series was the introduction of the Aerobots and the Stunticons.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Ravage makes a very good point. What are you going to do, Megatron? The Autobots practically rule the road.
They will make cars of our own.
Exactly.
And what does Optimus Prime do? Add more planes.
Exactly. Well, you got to remember that the Decepticons have an advantage. They can fly in the alt and robot modes.
Yeah. Except in the comics, where apparently, if you can't turn to a plane, you're pretty much grounded.
Yeah, I know. Which in the comics made Soundwave a little unnecessary. Mhm.
It kind of made Megatron unnecessary either, too. I guess that's why the Decepticons swapped out leaders so much,
Yeah.
to the point where Ratbat was in charge at one point.
Oh man, don't go there. Don't do that.
Car Wash of Doom, really?
Yeah. But then again, Ratbat was a little smarter than everyone gave him credit for.
Too bad he was underutilized in the show. He was pretty much an upgraded Laserbeak there.
True.
They fired Laserbeak.
And then one of the next incantations, Laserbeak was turned into a camcorder, which made him totally independent of Soundwave. How do you do that? Why do you do that?
I don't get it either.
Most people don't get that We love the cassette Transformers and the Guardians.
Yeah,
Too bad,
that would be
too
like
bad it
that would
took
be that would
too
be like
bad we
turning that would be like taking Steeljaw and turning him into an iPad.
exactly. And then they did one thing that it took them up it took the Transformers the movie to introduce the Autobot cassettes.
Yes, like it took you guys long enough. You had a boombox this whole time. Why didn't he come up with? Why didn't he have
Exactly.
tapes to begin with?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. What took you so long?
But then again, look. But then again, it took them the same time to come up with triple changers.
Yeah.
Season 2, we had
Yeah, but
Astro. We had Astro Tram Blitzwing.
right. And then Springer came in during Transformers the movie.
Yeah. And then
Springer was a car and a helicopter,
Yep.
which for some reason I don't know why did it make much sense.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
We all know a helicopter cannot keep up with an F-15.
No. It was more practical than Broadside,
Yeah,
who was an aircraft carrier and a jet.
I know, but that totally made no sense. Most of the triple changes made no sense.
Yeah, like I think the one that made the most sense was Blitzwing.
Yeah, yeah, he was the only one that made the most sense.
Well, him and Sandstorm.
Him, Sandstorm, and Astro Train, which Astro Train made sense when they had to go travel intergalactically. So
Yeah, but there
they
wasn't
didn't
really.
do that.
Yeah, well, he wasn't very good Earthbound.
No,
He was a train.
exactly. I still say that Beast Wars and Beast Machines were a total failure.
I like Beast Wars at least for the first season.
For the first season, yeah, but around the second season,
Yeah, when
stuff
they
started falling.
started introducing transmitters, I was like, this is a step
Right,
backward. This is a total
exactly.
step backwards. If I wanted animals made out of metal, I just go back to my G1 episodes and watch Dinobot and watch Dinobots.
You watch the Dinobots or the Predacons. Either way, you get your metallic animals.
Yeah.
Then when it came to Beast Machines, they were for the first season of that they were stuck in their alt modes.
And then they introduced a bunch, and then they brought in a bunch of crouching tiger, hidden dragon, horse crap, and
You're right, which made
Cybertron had an organic core.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was nuts.
Like, really?
Really?
Didn't they just like? How can Cybertron have an organic core when Primus himself is supposed to be the core of Cybertron? How is that even possible? You even made reference to Primus in your own show.
You just retconned Primus out of Transformers lore.
I mean, sure, the G1 cartoon never talked about Primus, but the comics did.
Good. the comics were supposed to have more information on the Transformers than the show did. I think that was the whole thing.
Right.
You could always go. You could always go to the comics and get any information you wanted.
Although these are the same comics where Optimus Prime sacrifices life for one of the worst reasons
Yeah.
imaginable. I blew up some
True.
humans in a game, therefore in a video game, therefore I dishonored myself.
Oh, jeez.
Said every Call of Duty player never.
Never. First of all, just like anyone who plays first-person shooters or fighting games for that matter, they know this stuff isn't. They know that they don't take this stuff seriously.
Right.
Why should they?
Right. Jeez. This is even dumber than that was even dumber than the movie where he just paused for 15 seconds just to give a heroic "I thought you were made of starter stuff" speech instead of pulling the trigger when he had him dead to rights.
Exactly. Well, there was this post on Facebook from the Transformers G1 group that asked, "Should Hot Rod be convicted of murder?"
No.
I'm like, no.
No. He should not.
If anything, he should be convicted of insubordination. His crime is insubordination for disobeying a direct order from a superior.
Was Cup a superior? I know he was a mentor, but
I'm talking about when he disobeyed Optimus Prime.
But he was already in a grappling. He was already in a grappling match when he told him to get out of the way. You can't just get out of. You can't just get out of the way when you're in the middle of grappling.
Exactly.
If anything, Hot Rod should be given a medal. If it wasn't for him, every Autobot in Autobot City would have been a pile of scrap by the time Optimus got there.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
Or worse yet, he wouldn't have known what had taken place on Autobot City since no one knew what was going on with the shuttle.
Exactly. Dude, Megatron could have taken out everyone on that shuttle. That's one of those things I never understood. When you found out that Megatron could kill any Autobot he wanted with one shot.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw that at 8 years old, I was kind of baffled. It's like, okay, if he can single-handedly kill a small squad of Autobots, why didn't he ever display this much power in the show?
Exactly.
I mean, 30-some years later, it's more obvious, but
right.
Then I didn't know that.
But then again, it's like Megatron's alt mode is a gun. He should be able to wipe the floor with most of the Autobots and the Decepticons.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. It was the same with Galvatron. The only thing he had to fear was Unicron.
Yeah. Especially when he couldn't use the Matrix.
Right.
I love that part where he's like, "How dare Unicron? Cybertron and all its moons belong to me." It's like, yeah, but he owns you, so therefore.
Exactly. See your way to oblivion. I still say they chose the best voice for Unicron.
Yes, Orson Welles is awesome.
Orson Welles was awesome, and Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron was even better.
Yeah, like plenty of voices have come. Plenty of people have voiced Unicron over the years, but no one was better than Orson Welles.
No
Nobody.
one, no one, no one. Hands down, Orson Welles is Unicron. He's the only one with the attitude and the personality to pull that off.
Yeah, and what makes it more interesting is he was really ill
When
when
he
he
did it,
took
I
the
know.
job.
I know.
Now those are acting chops.
Exactly. If
I
you
am
can be
playing
on
this role on
deathbed,
my deathbed.
if you can be on your deathbed and pull off the greatest voice acting gig ever, there is no one like you ever.
Yeah, you will die untouchable.
Mm. You will be the standard by everyone by which everyone else is measured.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Peter called Optimus Prime. Nobody's gonna be there hasn't been anyone that has been able to do that voice
No.
and do it justice. No one.
And if you ask Peter Cullen where the inspiration for that voice came from, he will tell you that he's actually imitating his brother.
Yep. I yeah. He told me to be a real hero, so
Oh, he decided, well, his brother had just gotten out of the military, so it's like, okay, then that's it. That's it. That's it right there. And he's doing it
yeah,
with it.
yeah, yeah. Especially when his brother was like, "If you're gonna do this, be a real hero. Don't be like these
Right.
guys who are all trying to act all hard and crap."
Exactly.
Which interestingly enough is which has kind of been the basis of the hero I'm making now.
Right.
Took
Okay.
took those exact words. Like, okay, the character is she's strong, but she has that gentle side.
Okay. Most people can't do most. That's the problem with most female characters that are created nowadays. They forget the gentle side.
Yeah,
This is what made
that's what
female
made
led
She-Ra so appealing.
popular.
That's what
Yeah,
yeah, that's what made She-Ra so appealing in the first place. Yeah,
I
she could
know.
kick. Yeah, she could. Yeah, she could demolish. She could demolish tanks and craps like that. But what made her
Yeah,
appealing was what what made her appealing was her gentle, compassionate side.
exactly. Basically, what they did with He-Man and She-Ra was exaggerate all the elements that made He-Man masculine and what made She-Ra feminine to the point where they became superpowers.
Yeah, yeah. He-Man was above dude, but even he wasn't all that macho.
Right.
He flexed when he needed to, and
Exactly. He knew when to do and when not to do. That was the whole point.
yeah,
And that was the lesson you were supposed to learn from him.
yes,
Ooh, then you can learn lessons from Skeletor easily.
yeah, on what not to do.
Exactly. And I tell you, the greatest teacher of leadership skills will always be Cobra Commander.
Yes,
This guy knows how to use every piece of equipment that Cobra uses.
yeah,
He will be the first on the battlefield before anybody else.
and usually the first to leave the battlefield.
Mhm. He's also the same guy that will make fun of world leaders for sitting in their cushy offices while everyone else does the dirty work.
Right. he'll also be the first guy to call out his Frankenstein experiment, the Frankenstein experiment that serves as a new global leader for being no better than being no better than he was when he was in charge.
Exactly. So Pinto reminded Cobra Commander of everything he did wrong as a leader.
Yeah.
And what Cobra Commander did was improve on all of those things.
Yeah.
But Serpentor wanted all the credit for it. Mm-mm. He's like, you can take the credit when you get your hands dirty.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Serpentor was a lot like Galvatron, except less entertaining.
Exactly.
Like, you're just some guy that yells a lot. Galvatron is...
Galvatron was hands-on. We know this.
Yeah, he was very hands-on.
Galvatron and Cobra Commander always said, if you want somebody to know that you did something, you have to do it. You will never get recognition if no one sees you doing it. This is where the take responsibility for your actions come into play. And every kid learned this from Galvatron and Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
Right.
Because you got SJWs who refuse to take responsibility for their own actions.
Right.
And they wonder why guys won't listen to them.
Right. and then there's the greatest soldier of them all, Chiron the Destroyer.
Exactly.
the guy who will go to any length any length. The guy who will use any means necessary to achieve a goal.
Exactly.
And he does.
He does, and he owns it.
Yeah. Sure he won't. Sure he didn't live. Sure he didn't live to tell the tale. But it was because of him that they had to. But it was because of him that they had to build the SDF-3 in the first place.
Exactly. He didn't live to tell the tale, but everyone knew what he did because they saw him do it. He even says at one point, "You will worship my achievements."
Right. All will bow to Chiron.
Exactly.
Well, we won't because, well, you're kind of dead.
Yeah. But when you think about all the things he's done and the things you do now are based off the things that he's done, it's like he was right. You have to laugh when you say he was right.
Yeah.
Which makes it so funny.
Yeah. In fact, the only reason they survived was because his superiors kept calling him back.
Exactly. And he kept telling his superiors that he was on the verge of winning.
Like, which he was. He was like, "Why'd you call me back? Because we don't want you to destroy the ship. That's why."
I can bring back the pieces. You can put it back together.
No, they can't. I don't even know they didn't know how to repair anything. I don't even know how to light stay it on. Like you saw that episode where the pipes were leaking.
Yeah. But the way that he was looking at it, the humans repaired this ship.
Yeah.
And they are so far behind the rest of us.
Yeah, except the problem. Yeah, except but the problem was Chiron didn't think. I should probably leave a few of these guys alive in order to fix.
Right. That was his only mistake.
In order to fix it.
Right. In my opinion, that would be his only mistake. Nothing else.
Although 2 years later he did round up a bunch of malcontents that learned how to fix things so he could
Exactly.
so they could fix his ship.
Right. But his superiors were so vain that it's like they want him to do everything and then they just swoop in and get the credit.
Right.
It's like the bad guys from the original Voltron series.
Oh, brother. Those guys were so terrible at their job, it's not even funny.
I know.
Oh, their general total failure.
I know.
The prince, an even bigger failure.
Yeah. The problem with Prince Lotor was he was love struck. That was his only
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, that was his only flaw. I mean, he
Right.
got one look at Laura and he lost sight of what he was there for.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, like 90% of 90% of his failures was due to him trying to pick up a lore instead of focusing on the task at hand,
Exactly.
which was to kill Voltron.
Right. The problem was the evil witch Hagar screwed it up the first time.
Well,
That they
she
were not-
well she tried to destroy him.
She tried to, but
She just
the
wasn't
magic
strong.
the magic wasn't strong enough. I know. I know. I get that.
Yeah,
But
the
it's
best
just
the best she could do was split him in the best she could do was split him into 5 lines.
right.
Although the real reason behind that was Golan was an arrogant prick, and the space guys got tired of his crap and split him into
Right.
5 parts.
Yeah. And you want to know the funny part about that? Goline wasn't even supposed to come to America.
I know.
the, the original vehicle Voltron was supposed to come to America, but something got screwed up somewhere. Got
The
lost in
original
translation.
the vehicle Voltron did come here. It was some other show involving a lion robot.
Mm. And then there was a third one where Voltron was made up of twin robots.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, but
That one
the
got
vehicle
stuck in Germany.
did so poorly, they decided screw this and
You're
commissioned
right. Yeah,
some
but
Korean
everybody.
studios.
And
Which,
then
if you
everyone fell in love
which
with
if
the
you
lion.
Yeah, which if you really look at it, Die Rugger 15 was really the better written story.
It was.
I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, you still had your monster. You still had your monster of the week, but
Right.
what separate? But unlike the bad guys in Goal Line, who was just trying to kill the Voltron force because they were a threat to their empire.
Right.
Some of the guys on the opposing team were trying to were trying to establish peace talks because they figured, our planet's about to blow up, and since these guys are kind of after the same thing, we could probably get more done if we work together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a better written story, so it's like wow.
I guess that's kind of what happens when you take cues from Star Trek instead of Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you got to remember, pretty much the vehicle Voltron was an exploratory show like Star Trek. So it's
Yeah, the Die Rugger intro could pretty much be the final frontier. These are the voyagers of the starship.
exactly,
Are finding
exactly,
seek out new life and new civilizations.
exactly. I forgot. I forgot. I think it was Devil Zoo Press who had got the rights for a comic version of Voltron.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what they did? They made it so that the Galaxy Alliance stole the lions to create the vehicle Voltron for.
They apparently tried to retrofit. Yeah,
Yeah,
they apparently tried to replicate the
reversing
technology made up of Voltron,
right.
and
But
then they
instead of
had,
doing five
and then
pieces, they
they
had to
had the
do it in
Voltron that
15.
what's funny was they had like this they had the third Voltron in the in
Right.
the scrap heap. Like, oh, they must have tried to do this before, but failed.
Mm, because they couldn't do it they couldn't make it into 5 parts, they had to make it into 15 parts.
Yeah, I had to
But what
laugh
they
about
don't
that.
realize, what they
Yeah,
fail to realize is what? Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Uh,
I had to laugh at that panel because like, oh
I
god,
knew.
that's a
It's
low,
just funny.
that's a real low blow to anybody who was a fan of Albegas.
I know.
But I see what you did.
No, the thing is, what they fail to realize that before Voltron was a single unit before it was blown apart.
Yeah.
That's the part they missed.
Well, it's not
That's what
like
I
they could
think.
call it the guy that invented Voltron because he kind
He's
of
dead.
got his head chopped off by Zarkon's forces.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's dead.
Hmm. But these shows will always fun to watch. My
Funny thing
favorite
is,
is
yeah, and
well,
he was the only casualty. That was the funny thing.
I know.
He was the only one that was left dead.
Right.
Everybody else, we're going to the hospital. Anyone else, they went to another planet for treatment.
Hmm. But then there was Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs, and and world events went into a direction no one saw coming. Instead of an exotic looking robot, they went and turned this giant spaceship into a cowboy. A cowboy named Ramrod. Let that simmer for a moment.
So,
Like I said, let that simmer for a moment.
oh boy.
Anytime when you come up with a name like that, somebody was sleeping that day.
Yeah. Let's see.
The guy who came up with that name really got his money's worth.
Right.
Because you have an idea how many dirty jokes came up from that name, right?
Oh boy. Funny thing is, I don't remember that one very well.
Well, Lion Forge Comics released it in comic book form a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's up there with Star Players. It's like, it's like, yeah, this is probably something I've seen before, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah. Star Blazers was cool, but then again, you really wouldn't understand it unless you've seen parts of Robotech or something else like that. If you haven't seen Robotech or G-Force, Battle of the Planets, anything like that, you wouldn't quite get a hold of Star Blazers.
Right. Yep. Oh yeah, another group of antagonists that actually that was actually successful was the Invid.
Oh yeah.
How many attack waves? It apparently takes 4 attack waves to take back your planet.
Yeah.
And
The fight
and even then, it wasn't really much of a victory. The
no,
Regis just was like, you know what? She's like, it's like, wow, these guys really. She just saw like, wow, these guys are really that willing to destroy their own planet to just to get rid of us.
you're right.
And to think fans of Transformers got mad at Rodimus for blowing up Paragon
Oh,
when it was the only when really it was the only option available to him.
right. But what Rodimus did was would be considered a misdemeanor.
Yeah, it's like this guy's a war criminal. He blew up a planet.
So he's going to be in the same league as, let's see, the entire Drool Empire, who not only destroyed countless planets when they nearly took over the entire known universe.
And they destroyed their own.
Exactly. So you're going to place him in the same category as that? No. Rodimus Prime is a lot of things, but he is not that despicable.
No. It's like it's like no
No.
with that much firepower, we're gonna lose here. So we have to we have to actually blow up the planet, but we're gonna at least get the slaves
Right.
off of the planet before we do it.
Exactly. But then we get to these things like, wow.
Although they could have given him a much better, although they could have made him a little more sympathetic towards
True.
Sandstorm's situation instead of going, well, Cybertron's a much better place anyway.
Yeah, they could have, but they for
It's
some
like
reason they didn't.
yeah, it's like you just blew up their home, and this is the best you could come up with.
Right. Anytime you're gonna go that far, man, it's gotta be some teeth behind your actions.
Yeah.
That was the only problem with Rodimus Prime. They refused to give him any drive.
Yeah.
Which is why when he reverted back to Hot Rod, he was so much happier.
Well, his aspirations, his goals, at least at the time, didn't include, I want to be the supreme leader of the Autobots.
He could, at the time, he could care less about being the leader of the Autobots.
The thing, yeah, the job was forced upon him, and he had to.
He had to do it.
And yeah.
Not because he wanted to, because he had to.
Yeah.
It's like every other story of the chosen one, like Stephen Strange. Stephen Strange did not want the job of Sorcerer Supreme, which is why he was perfect for the job, so they say. Dude, how is it that a man so arrogant is perfect for said job?
I have no idea.
I mean, if you were as arrogant as Stephen Strange, do you think anyone would choose you for such an important role?
I would think not.
You know, and in my opinion, oh shoot, died on me.
But yeah, could you imagine Global being that nonchalant after after demolishing his after and bringing the entire city on the edge of Pluto and killing who knows how many people in the process? And he's dead. Okay, so apparently, even when the host dies on the other side, the stream is still on. The question is there anyone in chat? No. Oh, crap. This isn't good. I hope he comes back. Or he's able to come back. There is literally no one in this chat. Oh, no. And because I'm not hosting this thing, I can't. And because I'm not hosting this thing, I can't. I can't show what I'm doing. This is not good. I guess I could pull out of the stream and he can come back in and send me another link or something. But the only thing you're doing is looking at my screen. This is bad. Uh, uh. Oh boy. Oh, this is bad. Ooh, hang on. Uh,
All right, man.
oh, there you are.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, oh no, he went down. He went down with the ship.
Well, I had to wait for it to charge a little bit so I can rejoin you.
Right.
So I'm going to do this without the camera on, so
Yeah.
and we're plugged in. But back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like with most of the cartoons that came out in the 80s, was like there was always something that you could learn from them.
Yep.
And believe it or not, that was the fun part about them.
Yeah, and it was always something that could actually benefit you in the real world.
Right.
Like guns aren't toys, or
Exactly. Even though if you were a big fan of G.I. Joe and the Transformers,
yeah, they 90% of the time they use guns to solve their problems.
right. But then they will tell you that there is a time to go this far. That was their thing. That was a time to go this far. Otherwise, it's like if you can talk it out, more power to you.
Yep.
And G.I. Joe is the reason why most of us joined the military after high school in the 90s. Oh, shoot.
Oh crap! He left again. Gotta tell him to. Uh, Eh. He's gone again. He's gone. Oh, boy. Uh, I don't think I'm in a position to. Oh, this guy's the only schmuck watching. I don't know what happened to him. And that stream's been going on an hour. I wonder if I pulled out if that would end the stream. Probably would. Seems to be that kind of night for people. They try to hold streams and stuff goes wrong. Same thing happened to Mindy tonight. Oh. And this isn't appropriate. You can't see what I'm doing because he didn't put the box on what I was doing. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull out of here. So not much happening here. Yeah.